Greetings internet, it's Monica, and today I am coming at you with my TBR for the final month of 2018, my final TBR of the year. This is my December TBR. I'm so excited. So for this month, I basically decided to go back through my past few TBRs and look at the books that I really wanted to read this year that I just totally forgot about, missed the ball on. To be honest, I had kind of not the greatest reading year. I definitely had a good reading year. I read quite a few books, but I feel like my reading ambitions were definitely higher than what I actually read. So I'm really excited to actually be doing this and to be reading all these sort of like forgotten books. Then again, if this month goes anything like previous months, I will probably only be able to read some of them. But then I just have, they just go into my lifelong TBR, So before I talk about the books that I am planning on reading in December, I wanted to take a moment to give a thank you to this video's sponsor, the Dreamy app. So the Dreamy app is basically a community for female writers and readers. The platform provides serialized fiction across a variety of genres. The Dreamy app has many different genres to choose from romance to chick lit to mystery, thriller, horror, etc. I also really appreciate that they specifically have an area on the app for LGBTQ+ creators, which I think is really important in any reading community. There's a book on there called Hades, which is a Hades Persephone retelling, but it features a female-female romance, which I think is really cool. They especially have many like steamy romances, so if that's particularly your thing, I think you will especially like this app. I know a lot of you like love that genre, so I wanted to share that with you guys. So I'll be sure to include more information and links and all of that about the Dreamy app in the description box below in case you are interested in learning more. So yeah, thanks again to the Dreamy app for sponsoring this video. Now let's get to the TBR. So the first book that I want to talk about is the Magical Girl Book Club Book of December. Now the Magical Girl Book Club, if you're not familiar, is the book club that I host with Emma from Miss Emma Reads a Lot. Basically, we read a book every month that features a magical, clever, cool, epic girl as its heroine because we love girls in fiction and celebrating them. So that's what we do every month. We sort of go off and on between doing manga and comics or a whole novel. This month we are back into novels and we are going to be reading Uprooted by Naomi Novik. So this has been a book that's been on multiple of my TBRs. I'm assuming probably at some point it was on my TBR this year. It's definitely on my TBR in years past, and especially after I read Spinning Silver this year and loved it so much, I knew that I needed to read this one, so I'm so excited to do that. I have a physical copy, but I left it at home in Pennsylvania, so I might get it when I go home for Christmas, or I just might read it like digitally or via audiobook. But yeah, as per usual, be sure to check out our Tumblr page if you want to know when the live show is. We do our live shows over on Instagram as opposed to YouTube, so be sure to be following us there. We'll be doing December's live on Emma's Instagram account, so if you're not following her, you should be. So this next one is actually wild to me that I haven't read it yet because it was legitimately like one of my most anticipated reads of this entire year, and I bugged Michael so much to get me a copy of this early because all I wanted to do was read this book, and so the fact that I haven't read it yet is just stupid. And that book is Two Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake, or Two Dark Reigns, sorry. So this is the third book in this series, which started with Three Dark Crowns. It's kind of confusing because it was Three Dark Crowns, One Dark Throne, and then Two Dark Reigns. Like the numbers are a little confusing, but this is the third book and I can't tell you what it's about because it'll spoil the first two. The first book, it basically takes place in this matriarchy and it follows these three sisters who were separated at childhood and they're being forced to battle to the death basically to see which one will become the queen of their nation. And it's super political and I love these characters so much. I love this world, I love the fantasy of it and the magic. So yeah, I really enjoy this one or this series. So I'm so excited to read this book because I've been wanting to read it for so long. I can't believe I haven't read it, honestly. how. This next one is one that I actually recently started during the Fall into Fantasy Readathon. I really enjoyed what I've read of it so far, and that is The Brilliant Death by Amy Rose Capetta. This book takes place in kind of like a Medici era of Italy, I think. Is that accurate? We'll say that that's accurate. Basically in old times Italy. And so you have all these like powerful families, it's like political, and I love it because it is it features gender fluid characters. I'm just really super interested in the politics of the story and like all the like interfamily dynamics, and then also really fascinated by the characters and the magic system. It's a really different and cool fantasy, and I'm super glad that a book like this exists. It's wild to me that it's 2018 and it's one of the first that I've heard from a major publisher like this, but I really hope that in 2019 we see even more diverse fiction and diverse voices in fiction. So yeah, really excited to continue with this story. Also, these end papers, I just have to show these because they're beautiful. Look at that. It's so stunning. I love a good map. The next book is has been on my TBR for multiple winters, probably since it came out, and it's gonna be on this one's too, and I'm really hoping to finally get to it because I've heard such good things about this author, about all of her books, so really want to read The Bear and the Nightingale. This book takes place in the Russian wilderness, which, like, what is better than that in December, you know? Basically, this jumped way up on my TBR after reading Spinning Silver, even though they are two different authors. I just get very like Spinning Silver style vibes from this because it's set in that sort of Spinning Silver. I don't think is set in Russia, but in a Russia-like world, and then this one actually takes place in Russia, and in like that wintry, has those wintry vibes that I love, and it incorporates fairy tales, and the main character has like these gifts that she's been trying to hide, and it just sounds really good and really atmospheric, and I love a good atmospheric read, so feels like time that I pick this one up. Lastly is a book that has been on multiple TBRs, and this is the month, guys. This is the month, and it is The Best We Could Do by T. Bui. This is a graphic memoir. It basically follows this family who are refugees from Vietnam and moved to San Francisco in the 1970s, and it's about them sort of trying to get back to a sense of normalcy while living in this like completely different world, and I'm super interested in it. I'll be honest, one of the reasons why I've kind of put off reading this is because I feel like this year I had a lot of like emotional experiences when it came to like really realizing all that like my mother went through when it came to moving to here from Korea. And I think a lot of like kids of immigrants will probably feel this or relate to this, and like that feeling of both pride in like what your parents accomplish and like love for like everything that they've done for you, but also like feeling that sort of deep sadness for everything that they did have to sacrifice in order to try and like have a better life and ensure a better life for you. But I think it's a really important story, and I'm really excited to learn about this family and this person's experience. So yeah, last one on my list, and this one I definitely want to get to this year. So yeah, those are the books that I am planning on reading in December. I forced myself to only choose 5 this month because I do feel like previous months I've sort of been a little bit too ambitious with my reading. It's been a busy year and a difficult year, I feel like, for me at least. So try to be a bit more realistic with myself this time. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to hear what you all are planning on reading in December. Are there books that you meant to read this year that you didn't get to that you're hoping to read before the end of the year? Let me know in the comments down below. Really looking forward to this month because December is like my favorite month for videos. There's so many like sort of staples, from like my most anticipated reads to my favorite and least favorite books of the year, and like so many things like that. So really looking forward to all of those. And yeah, I will talk to y'all next time. Bye!